Okay. What's up, everybody? I didn't even know I was live yet. Cowboys C3. Cowboys go into actually Washington comes here. A lot of different things going on this week that are just distractions or what we would call at work noise. What can the Cowboys do to get back focused, win a division game, a rivalry game against the team that may be just as beat up as they are? Let's talk about it right here next on Cowboy Spit.
Here we go! Yeah, here we go! Wait, take
Cowboys throws back of the end zone. There's CeeDee
What's going on, Panda? How you doing, man? What's going on, everybody? Cowboys C3. Cowboys versus Commanders tomorrow, 3:25, game of the week. Rivalry week. It is going to be a big game. Washington comes into the game. They're going to be mining some key players that really give the Cowboys an opportunity to walk out of this game with a victory. Can they pull it off? That's the biggest story. So the week has gone by, and there have been some things that have happened within Cowboy country, if you will, that bode well, in my personal opinion, for the Cowboys. And so they've been dealing with this scrutiny for the last couple of weeks, and it's just gone full board this week about how Dak Prescott is having a wonderful season and the defense is pretty much ruining it. So just to give you an idea of some things that are happening, Dak Prescott in the last 3 weeks has gone for 817 yards, 11 touchdowns, and an interception, and the Cowboys defense has given up 90 points in those 3 weeks. The Cowboys have also faced Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, Russell Wilson, and Jalen Hurts. Combined, they have passed for 72%, averaging 270 yards, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, with a combined passer rating of 117, which is the highest in the NFL. Caleb says the Commanders definitely will win. We'll see about that one, little buddy. Wave tutorial. Okay. I don't know what wave tutorial means, but I'm pretty sure you boys will tell me in a second. What can you do to stop this? And the defense has been exceptionally bad, and we'll go back to the home screen here in just a second. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how bad it's been. So I'll give you an image from Chicago versus Dallas, where Rome Odunze is standing in the end zone wide open. And this is about a 15-yard pass for a touchdown from Caleb Williams. Easy pitch and catch. Your nearest guy is Malik Hooker as the deep safety, and he is, if you look at the screen, he's probably 6 to 8 yards away from the receiver. Another instance in that game is, and you see Trayvon Diggs trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Torrey McMillan standing in the back of the end zone wide open. And they had passing game problems throughout the season. Secondary, a lot of people in the secondary felt like they were in the wrong coverages, felt like they should have been playing more man. So against the Carolina Panthers, the Cowboys ran a zone coverage 86% of the time, which is abnormally high, especially being that, and I've been saying it on this show for a long time, that the Cowboys they have a bunch of guys that aren't very good at running zone defense. And you come out and you run zone 86% of the time, and that's kind of insane. So you do some things to try to alter your defense and maybe fix it, and then you start giving up running lanes like this. And Rico Dowdle goes bananas, tells you what he's going to do, tells you guys to buckle up, and then continues to do it. So down here on the bottom is Sam Williams, and Sam Williams is one of your starting defensive end, and he's getting sealed off by a wide receiver in Xavier Legette, which is insane to me, but that's the kind of defense that we're playing right now. And there's a lot of things that are in question. There's a lot of things that maybe that Eberflus is not calling the right schemes, which I believe that is 99% of it. And there's a lack of effort. There's a lack of a lot of things that are going on. And I believe that if you are playing in a defensive system where you are, one, not comfortable, and two, don't believe in the system, it'll show in your play. I hope the Cowboys win too, Panda. I hope they do. And these are the kind of running lanes that you're going to have and receivers running down the field wide open. So all of this, and then, of course, on the 4th and 3, with basically the game on the line against Carolina, you came out in a soft coverage where your middle linebacker, Keith, I can't even remember his damn name now. It don't even matter. Lined up in the middle of the defense, Kenneth Murray. While he's lined up in the middle of the defense, he comes up to the line of scrimmage, shows blitz, makes Bryce Young change out of the play, and he runs a quick slant to Hunter Renfrow, which is the second receiver from the top. The guy circled at the top is Deron Bland, and that is the guy that's his responsibility. Hunter Renfrow is his responsibility. And as you can see right there, there's an 8-yard gap on the 4th and 3. Murray will shoot over to the left to try to cut off the slant, which is a good play call. It's not a bad play call. Murray was a half step short. Football is a game of inches. Hunter Renfrow catches the pass. They end up running out the clock, kicking a field goal at the last second and winning. Now, for the life of me, I do not understand that Bryce Young. Well, I do understand that Bryce Young has not been a very good quarterback in the National Football League. He hasn't been fantastic. I just do not understand why you wouldn't play straight up man coverage, send some pressure on him, make him scramble around or make a quick read and throw the ball, and he's throwing the ball into coverage. It's a simple play. Now, if Kenneth Murray gets there on time, is that good? Of course it is, right? And you make the play. But football is a game of inches, and he was too late. And he's been late on a lot of different plays. I saw an interview earlier this week that kind of made me giggle a little bit because it was kind of something that I said on one of these podcasts here a couple of days ago. I said, if you had to give the Cowboys defense overall a grade, of course, it would be an F-. And if you could give a G on a report card, I would give them a G. The defensive line, I would probably give them a C because they've played well. Interior defensive linemen have not played terrible, but they haven't been great. The defensive ends in one game gave you 5 sacks, and they were predominantly in man coverage against the Jets, and it turned up the pressure on the quarterback, which should have been a key to Eberflus to continue to run that type of defense. He acted like he lost his mind, didn't watch Cowboys split that week against Carolina, and paid the price for it severely. Linebackers, I would give an F- because they've been terrible, particularly Murray. You traded him, first round pick, a couple years back, hasn't had much success in the NFL. You're hoping that you can rejuvenate some of that, especially with Eberflus being your defensive coordinator, and it has panned out to be horrific. It is terrible. Linebacker play has been terrible. Overshown comes back in a couple of weeks. There's a lot of people that are going to say, well, this defense would have been better if it would have been if Micah Parsons would still be on the team. And I will disagree with you, and I would disagree with you wholeheartedly. Because if you are playing a soft zone coverage where you are giving me a 3rd and 8 and you're 10, 15, 10, 12 yards off the ball, your corner's 10, 12 yards off the ball, playing back with the safeties, the receivers are open at hut. They are open at the snap of the ball. Micah Parsons cannot get to the quarterback fast enough. I keep hearing all this talk about Cowboys, if they had a premier defensive end, if they had a pass rush, Dude, if receivers are open that fast, the pass rush is null and void because the receivers are open and the quarterback is just pitching and catching. It's simple. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, just go back to this graph that I put up right here. Quarterbacks are throwing for 72% this season against the Cowboys for an average of 270 yards per game, 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with a combined passer rating of 117. It has nothing to do with the pass rush. It has to do with this soft ass zone coverage that the Cowboys are running, and the receivers are open at the snap of the ball. Period. End of story. That's what it is. As soon as you line up in man coverage and you're playing man coverage, look at the Jets in the first 3 quarters. The score was 30-3 going into the fourth quarter. Justin Fields did not come alive until you backed off of your coverage. That's when he came alive in the fourth quarter. You had a lead. You decided to back off into that cover 3, that soft ass zone that you've been running all season long. And the results were that Justin Fields actually looked like a quarterback for a quarter, 3/4 of a quarter. Anyway, but this is the type of things that I keep harping on, I keep talking about, and until it changes, this will be what the Cowboys are defensively for the remainder of the season. Now, this week it's been talked about all week that the Cowboys are going with more man coverage, more man coverage, more man coverage. Somebody probably watched tape. Coach Schottenheimer said that we would go with accountability, but you need to. We see the problems. We need to come up with solutions to the problem. If you have a team that is predominantly man, your secondary is predominantly man coverage people, then it would probably be a good idea to run man defense. That's what I've been saying that since week 2. When you let the Giants go bananas against you in a game where Russell Wilson, the next week, Russell Wilson got benched. It's incredible. So you finally go into this, and I'm gonna get to my point of emphasis on this in a second, and I might just skip to it, but I'm not. We're gonna go through the game. We're gonna talk about the game first. Tomorrow, 3:25, Dallas Cowboys versus Washington Commanders, AT&T Stadium. In good old Jerry's World in Arlington, Texas. Cowboys are actually a 1.5 point favorite, and the over-under is 54.5 points. I'm almost willing to say that that's a safe bet because I would pick the over because I got a feeling that you might get 80 points total tomorrow. It could get crazy. Now, practicing man coverage all week. Everything has been going really good. And then you go into your injury list and you look on Friday, something happened at Trayvon Diggs' house. He got a concussion at home and he's out for the game against the Commanders on Sunday. I'm almost to the point to where you just say, cut your losses, trade him for whatever the hell you can get, eat the contract, and just let him go on about his business. Because it's getting to be ridiculous. It's always something, right? Always something. He's missed a lot of games, and sure, he tore his ACL in a freak accident in practice a couple of years ago, and those things happen, and you get injured and you miss time. Perfectly understood. Last year was his own fault because he did not rehab his knee the way that he should have rehabbed his knee. And he came out last year flat, and he re-injured the knee and ended up having to have a very serious surgery on it to where it was questions on whether he would even be able to play football again. Comes out this year, doesn't participate in his rehab work that he needed to participate with the team, got a $750,000 fine, and has looked like shit on the field all season. I will give him this. Eberflus has put him in situations where he is not the best. We all know that he is not a good zone coverage corner. Everybody knows that there's a Cowboy fan, and you don't really have to even be a Cowboy fan to see Trayvon Diggs trailing behind some wide receiver when he's wide open. And most of the time, that's in zone coverage because he has no discipline. He'll take the man that's in front of him. He'll follow him inside. Somebody will sneak around the back door and come in and be wide ass open in his deep third, and it's a touchdown, and he's sitting there with his hands up. You think I'm joking? Look at this. There he is right there with his hands out. Same shit, different toilet. Hurt again. Hopefully he recovers quick, especially if they're going to run man coverage. That's what you best at. If you're not going to be with the team, at least you can put some good film together where you can get your ass up out of here and go somewhere else. Cool, whatever. Sedarian is back. CD will be back. He's playing in the game. Turpin's playing in the game. Jack Sanborn, don't know how big of a difference he'll make, but he's playing in the game. Tyler Smith is still healthy, full participant. He'll play. Donovan Wilson was a full participant. He'll play. James Houston was a full participant all week. He'll play. Tyler Booker was a full participant. It looks like he's going to play too. Mozzie Smith is questionable. Wanye Thomas is questionable. He didn't participate in practice on Friday. Jonathan Mingo was a full participant in practice. Marshawn Nealon was limited in practice. He's questionable. Kalen Carson was a full participant in practice, probably because Diggs got a concussion at the house. He's a full participant. This team is starting to come around to where you're at full strength, and that's good because Washington is hurt. Terry McMillan tried to go in practice on Wednesday, didn't participate Thursday and Friday. He's out. Deebo Samuel with the heel was limited, did not participate Wednesday and Thursday, tried to go in practice on Friday, will not even travel with the team. He'll be out. Zach Ertz, questionable. You've got a lot of players on that offense that are questionable where they're going to be playing with a lot of backups. This is a golden opportunity to jump on Washington and get a victory in a game where you absolutely need it. Stat leaders for the game: Jaden Daniels, 875 yards, 7 touchdowns and an interception. Dak Prescott, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions at 1,617 yards. Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt, 344 yards rushing. Javonte Williams, 476 yards rushing. Debo will be out. George Pickens, 525 yards receiving, but his brother comes back this week, so 88 will be back on the field. James Houston at 3.5 sacks. Dorrance Armstrong, who's questioned before the game, with 5.5 sacks. Bobby Wagner with 65 tackles, and Kenneth Murray Jr. Kenneth Murray Jr. has been really bad. Hopefully they can get that right. Hopefully. To me, this is a make or break game. I mean, you seriously have to start questioning whether your defense, if the scheme is even worth going forward in the season with. And that means if your defensive coordinator, if it's worth even moving forward, because it can't get any worse than what it is now. It can't. Washington, no matter what, you have a really good quarterback, really good running attack. Offensive line is fairly healthy, and the Cowboys can't stop the run. It can just run the ball the entire game and possibly come out with a victory the way the Cowboys have been playing defense. Something has to give. You may not have the answer to the riddle in the building, but Matt Eberflus has shown you in the first 6 games that he is not the answer to the riddle whatsoever. So far. I don't think that he just forgot how to coach defense. I don't feel that way. I just think that as a coach, you have to look at the body of players that you have, and you have to come up with a scheme that fits them. I can come in with this entire playbook of a scheme that I've come up with, and in theory, it should work. I just don't have the guys to run it. That's the sign of a good coach. If you can adapt and overcome, it may not be my scheme. It may be something I have to adapt to. It may be something I have to adjust to. If I can do that and get the most out of the players that I have on the football field, then that is the sign of a good coach. If the Cowboys could just move up to 20th in the defensive ranking, 20th, I do believe that they would be a really, really good football team. Right now, they are 32nd in the NFL. You have the number 1 offense in the NFL and the absolute last place defense in the NFL, last ranked defense in the NFL. Offense is averaging. Offense has gained 622 total yards, 703 of them on the ground. They have given up 617 yards and 853 on the ground. It is glaringly obvious right there what it looks like for the first place defense, is first place offense and the last place defense. It's right there. Washington comes in with the 13th ranked offense, 1,168 yards passing, 906 yards rushing. 1,411 yards through the air and 730 on the ground that the defense has given up. They will give you the run. Your lineup tomorrow will look like this: Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams with Jaden Blue backing him up. CD Lamb and George Pickens will be on the field once again. Flanor will be your third receiver. Jake Ferguson will be your tight end. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, and Tyler Booker should be in the lineup. So you get your offensive line back. Your number twos on the offensive line did a really good job for a couple weeks. And it will give them some confidence just in case they have to come in and play again. They did a good job. Your offensive line comes back. You should be okay. Keep that clean. Keep him clean in the pocket. Defense, Diggs will be out. It could be Kalen Carson that steps in and fills that void. Don't know. Roddy Stewart has done a good job in the nickel. Chiqueezy Bridges, decent corner. Kyer Elam will play a lot of corner as well. Could be a rotation back in the secondary. It'll be key to keep these guys comfortable, keep them in some coverages that they can play, right? And have an opportunity to make some plays against some backup wide receivers, because Washington's two best receivers are going to be out. And this is an opportunity. This is a golden opportunity to make something happen. Jaden Daniels will be your quarterback. Krosky Merritt will be your running back. McLaurin and Deebo Samuel will be out, so it'll be Jalen Lane and Chris Moore. Luke McCaffrey will be in the slot. Zach Ertz is questionable. If he can't go, John Bates will be there. Their offensive line: Laramie Tunsil, Chris Paul, Tyler Biotis, the old Cowboy, Andrew Wiley, and John Connery Jr. Dorrance Armstrong is questionable. Deron Payne, Javon Kinlaw, and Preston Smith will be on the defensive line against this offensive line for the Cowboys. Frankie Love, Bobby Wagner, and Von Miller will be your linebackers. Trey Amos, Jeremy Reeves, Quan Martin, Marshawn Lattimore, and Saren Stilly be your safeties and your nickel corner. I truly and honestly believe that this is a game where you absolutely should win. So Kid Cowboy says every coach has his own scheme. It takes more than 6 weeks, and you have to find this type of player. These players aren't running around this. So Kid Cowboy, I would tend to agree with you. Now, 6 weeks to have a defensive scheme, that's 6 weeks from the beginning. Matt Eberflus has been here since March. You have a bunch of guys that come from programs where they run man defense. And if you try to put man corners, or man secondary people in zone, one thing that is a big point of emphasis for me is the simple fact that you will drop your strong safety in Donovan Wilson, who is a guy that is known not to be able to cover. He will be your deep third player in the middle. You have a problem. Donovan Wilson is a box safety. If you cannot adjust your scheme to fit your players, you are not fit to be a coach. These are simple problems. These are high school problems that the Cowboys need to solve. High school problems. If your coach can't solve high school problems, then go coach middle school. End of the story. Said there, you just don't play. You don't. What are we rebuilding? It's the same defense. There's nothing to rebuild. There's nothing, absolutely nothing to rebuild. This is the same defense that you had last year, plus a defensive tackle that is inherently better than any defensive tackle that you had last year. Grant is a much better defensive tackle than Mozzie Smith. Micah Parsons had 13 sacks last year. He missed some games, but he had 13 sacks. Dante Fowler had 14 and a half for Washington. If you continue to line up in bad schemes, you will not be effective. It doesn't matter who you have on the field. Rebuilding the scheme is not an excuse for your defense to be shit. It is not. Dan Quinn learned that very fast. Dan Quinn in Seattle was the number one defensive coordinator. He called the most zone coverages of anybody in the NFL. He learned in 4 games that shit wasn't going to work. He came out after that. From the 4th game he was here on, he ran man coverage more than anybody else in the NFL, and it turned into Trayvon Diggs turned into a pick machine, and Deron Bland turned into the pick six king. It creates turnovers. If you can create pressure, it creates turnovers. You run a man-to-man scheme, and you trust that your defensive line will get home. It is proven to work. It worked against the Jets, and the Jets have a much better offensive line than the Washington Commanders do. Breece Hall, everybody seen the only reason that their offensive line doesn't work in the pass game is because Justin Fields holds on to the ball for too damn long. Breece Hall ran for 132 yards against the Cowboys. What hasn't been working for the last 4 or 5 years? What? The defense? The defense has not been this bad. This may be the worst defense in NFL history. There is no defense that has been this bad. Not this bad. This defense is atrocious. At least with Dan Quinn, they could create turnovers. They were a middle of the pack defense that created a whole bunch of turnovers. This defense is the bottom of the NFL, and they have 2 interceptions all season, both by the free safety or the strong safety, whatever the hell you want to call him these days, a dude that can't cover. The scheme is horrible, and it won't get any better until there's some changes made. Cowboy keys to victory. First key to victory on offense is establishing the trenches from the jump. You need to play bully ball tomorrow and run the ball against a team that can't stop the run too. Keep the ball out of their offense's hands. Run Javonte and Jaden Blue. Run them. Keep that clean so he can cook. If you run the ball the way you should be able to run the ball tomorrow, play action passes be wide open. You have your 2 receivers available. You can take turns on which one's going to catch a touchdown. Establish the trenches first. Establish the run game. If you establish the trenches, you're going to be able to run the ball and play off play action and just let Dak put down the ball down the field and score some points because you're going to need a lot. Defensively, they're going to have to contain Jaden Daniels. He's going to run around. If the pocket breaks down, he has the ability to run. You're going to have to spy him. You're going to have to do something. Contain him. The linebackers must fill gaps in the run game and hit people, period. Hit ball carriers. Don't wait on them. Fill the gap and hit ball carriers. These middle school shit, do it. This is simple. Play man coverage more than you play zone. That shit will be on the bottom and now until they stop playing this soft-ass zone. You'll be able to tell early in this football game what type of time the Cowboys are on defensively. If you walk out the first play of the game and you see your corners 10, 12 yards off the ball, it's about to be a long day with some backup wide receivers because Jaden Daniels can throw the football. Have to play the deep ball. Now, your deep threat in McLaurin and Debo on the crossing routes, that's null and void tomorrow. They'll be out. Wish them a speedy recovery, but thank you, they won't be around tomorrow. McCaffrey can still run. You still got some other receivers that they're not terribly fast, but they're fast enough. They're fast enough to get behind this secondary. You have to stay out of that soft-ass zone. You have to play man-to-man and try to generate some sort of pressure on the quarterback, Jaden Daniels, make him uncomfortable, and possibly create some turnovers. What you don't want to do is get into a damn shootout with Washington and the final score be 52-50, which is looking like. That's exactly what it's looking like. My prediction for the game tomorrow is the Cowboys will lose 42-40. That's my prediction for the game. I just don't think that there will be anything that will happen different than has been happening for this will be like a replay of the Green Bay game. Stop the run. Washington has a great running game. Absolutely, they have a great running game. And that was and that is what I mean by linebackers filling holes. Your defensive line, your defensive tackles are going to get some penetration tomorrow, and they'll occupy some linemen. There'll be holes there that need to be filled by linebackers. If they fill the damn gaps, the Cowboys should be just fine. No, I have no faith. None whatsoever. Until I get my mind changed. And there's nothing that has changed my mind yet. There's no subjective evidence that has changed my mind about the Dallas Cowboy defense yet. I think Dak has a phenomenal game tomorrow. I think CD goes for over 100 yards. I think Pickens will probably have 70, 80 yards, and he'll probably make some spectacular out of this world catch. I think Javonte Williams will probably have, 70, 80 yards rushing and a touchdown or two. I think Dak will probably run the ball in for a touchdown, and the offense will look fantastic. But it's just as good as the Cowboy offense will look tomorrow. I have a funny feeling that the Washington offense will look just as good. Just as good. So 42-40 is my prediction for tomorrow. I just don't think that the Cowboy defense don't care if they had their two best receivers are missing. I just don't think that they're able to stop the Washington offense. I just don't. And hopefully I'm wrong. I'll be the first to come on here after the game and admit that I'm wrong. But right now, no, I don't think that they can do it. I just don't. And the main reason I think that they can't do it is because of that dude right there, Matt Eberflus. If his ass is not on the hot seat, like I don't know what you have to do to get on the hot seat. Rebuilding the scheme is wildness. That like you as a head, and not a head coach, but as a coordinator in any level of football, if I come out with something that's not working, I have to adjust my scheme accordingly to give my defenders an opportunity to be competitive in football games. And he has yet to do that. We're talking about an NFL defensive coordinator that is yet to adjust. And that shit is absolutely bananas to me. Bananas. Dak is having a wonderful season. The offense, not just Dak, the offense in general is having a wonderful season. George Pickens is having this breakout year where he's going to demand a lot of money. Jared should sign his ass right now where you can still afford him. Phenomenal season. Yeah, Javonte Williams has resurged his career running the football. The offensive line has proved to be pretty efficient. Even when they're not healthy, the backups have come in and been pretty proficient. It's just like you can't waste this with a defense that is just bad. Ask for more money and you'll get on. Seriously, that's the only thing you can do in Dallas is ask for some more money and put Jerry on the spot because he'll trade your ass a week before the season starts. Whatever. Anyway, tomorrow, 3:25, Cowboys versus Washington. Right after the game, we'll go live. Win, lose, or draw. Hopefully we have something good to talk about. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. If the defense can just get a couple stops. Oh, and another thing. I meant to say this. I forgot to say it. Go back and look at the Cowboy losses this season and even the tie. The opposing team did not punt until the fourth quarter. Go look. You got to get stops. You have to get stops. If you can't get stops consistently, at least you need some timely stops. You need to pull something out your ass in order to give your team an opportunity to win. And I don't know if they can do that. We'll see tomorrow. Anyway, win, lose, or draw. We'll be here tomorrow right after the game. Hopefully we have something good to talk about. I hope so. Larry, be talking to you back and forth during the game anyway, and we probably gonna be on the phone talking shit, and hopefully it's good shit tomorrow, not bad shit. But either way, we'll be talking shit. All right, y'all. Cowboys C3. Cowboys versus Washington, 3:25 tomorrow. We'll be here right after the game. Win, lose, or draw. Cowboys for life. Always been that way my whole life, but right now it's just not easy being a Cowboy fan. Ridiculed at work and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get tired of that, man. I just want y'all to be good one time. Just play solid football. He said, if not, we need to have a fire sale. Can we sell the owner first? The biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys is that the owner won't fire the general manager. That is the biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys. Let that sink in. All right, Cowboy C3. I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.